We've got one shot and one shot only, and that's the...
What is up, Division 2 agents? Welcome back to the channel. It's D-Werewolf Gaming back with another Division 2 video. Alright guys, I got an amazing build to showcase, and if you're a veteran player, most likely you've seen this build before. But overall guys, if you're new to this game and you like trying out different types of builds, then this video is for you today. The gun we're going to be focusing on today is the 1886 rifle. It's a rifle I've had for quite a while, and I have been enjoying this build for a good little bit as well. With that being said guys, the global event is currently still going on right now, and as of me recording this video, and one thing about this global event is that those headshot one-shot builds really do shine. You do a lot of damage, take those enemies out. Even if you don't get a headshot, they get back up. As long as they're within that corrosive green cloud, it will take them back out. And if you're new to this game guys, if you roll or walk within that corrosive cloud, it will repair your armor as well. So that's just amazing. With that being said, I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that continues to support me on my channel, especially those who always have something positive to say. All right guys, so as you can see in the gameplay, this gun is amazing, really fun to use. And overall, you know, for somebody who's been playing this game as long as I have guys, I need diversity when it comes to my builds. And it's what makes this game fun, the ability to create different types of builds, try different things out to see what works and what doesn't work. So what we're going to do is get ready to go over this build breakdown guys, and then I will give you a little bit more gameplay shortly afterwards. All right, so like I said, we was using the 1886 rifle, and main thing on this gun guys is, as you can see, total core damage is over 1 million with an RPM 180 in the magazine. The headshot damage is right there at 228%, with the optimal range being 35. Now I do have an expertise of 24 on this weapon, but you do not have to have it as high guys. That's just what I got. You know, especially during this global event, you will still be doing a lot of damage. The core attributes are fully maxed out, as you can see, with a 10% damage to target out of cover. All right, this gun has pretty good stability, but the accuracy is pretty poor, and the talent that I would recommend you put on it is determined. After killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landing on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. And the mods I do have on it is plus 20% reload speed. All right, for the secondary, I did have the Scorpio shotgun equipped. Primarily, guys, just for whenever those enemies get up close. If you're new to this game, guys, this is an amazing shotgun that basically debuffs the enemies and puts all sorts of different types of status effects. As you can see, it is fully expertise of 30%, with the core attributes being fully maxed out as well. The talent on this gun is what it is really special. It's called Septic Shock, and shooting a target applies a stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. This increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs. All right, 2 shots you apply poison, 4 you disorient, at 6 you apply shock, and when you get to 9 shots guys, targets take additional 20% damage from all sources, but the stacks no longer occur. The duration of the status effects is based on the percentage of pellets hit on applying the shot. All right, the mods that come on it are 10% reload speed, 10% critical hit chance, weapon stability as well. All right, I did have the Harvest pistol equipped as well, since this is a headshot build, and this gun is amazing. If you don't have it guys, you should use whichever Magnum or D50 or whichever sidearm you prefer. This gun is amazing because it is one of the does have the highest base damage of all the pistols, and I do have a weapon expertise 30% with a pistol damage core and 10% damage to target out of cover. Again, roll that determined talent on it again, and the mods I did have on it was a 20% reload speed with a 15% headshot damage mod. This particular setup guys, I did have 2 pieces of the breaking, well actually 3 pieces of the breaking point set on, and 2 pieces gives you plus 25% rifle and marksman rifle damage. 3 pieces gives you plus 30% headshot damage and 15% weapon handling. All right, really not going to worry about that 4th talent because we're not really running on this particular setup here. All right, for the chest piece, we did go with the name, the Chain Killer, and it is the name version of the One Piece Walker and Harris set. And 1 piece gives you plus 5% increase in weapon damage, with the core attribute being a weapon damage. And the talent in the middle where the attributes we had 12% critical hit damage with 2 10% headshot damage attributes. All right, the talent is what we really was going for in this particular chest piece. It's called Perfect Headhunter. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that kills of this blow damage. All right, damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1,250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. So on your build, you definitely want to make sure that your headshot damage is greater than 150% to get the most benefit of using that. All right, guys, if you didn't how to have the chain killer, you could have easily went with the Hasberg one piece set as well, because it does give you a 13% increase in headshot damage, and just roll the talent headhunter on that, and you will still have the same outcome. So basically, any chest piece that you prefer, you can use, guys, and just make sure you put the talent headhunter on it. All right, so for the holster, it is the second piece of the breaking point, and as you can see, we did have a weapon core of 15% with an attribute of 10% headshot damage. All right, for the knee pads, guys, we did go with the Fox prayers. This is the name knee pads of the Overlord set, but one piece gives you 10% rifle damage. Did have a core attribute, and that middle attribute, 8% damage to target out of cover, comes automatically, and we did have another attribute of 10% headshot damage. All right, for the gloves, it is the third piece of the breaking point, and then we did have a weapon core with another headshot 10% damage attribute. All right, for the backpack, guys, we did go with the gift backpack. This is the name version of the Providence set, and we did have one piece on, so that gave us an additional 13% increase in headshot damage. The core attribute is 15% weapon damage, with the attributes being 12% critical hit damage with 10% headshot damage. The talent on this backpack is what we really was going for. It's called Perfect Vigilance, and this increases total weapon damage by 25%, but taking damage disables the buff for 3 seconds. That 3 seconds goes by pretty fast. You won't even realize it. Or you could even, if you do not have this backpack, guys, the Memento backpack would have worked great as well during this event. Or any backpack such as the Douglas and Hardest backpack. Just make sure you put the talent on the, you roll the talent Vigilance to get that 25% increase in damage. The only difference between the perfect version and the regular version is 1 second duration in how fast you get the talent back. All right, guys, so with this build, I did have the Revival Hive just in case I went down. I had a second chance to get back up, and I did use the Striker drone as well. I enjoy the Striker drone because it locates those enemies for me, and it also does pretty good damage as well. All right, but you could have went with the decoy. A lot of people on this head one-shot builds enjoy the decoy. But for me, the decoy doesn't deal any damage, so I like the Striker drone because it acts as a distraction, and it also does damage as well. But also ultimately use that whichever skill works best for you. All right, let's take a look at the weapon stats. As you can see, 1,137,746 weapon damage. That is with the 1886 high-end rifle. I did have 10% critical hit chance with 86% critical hit damage, but the main thing we was going for was that headshot damage, which was 228%. We needed that to be greater than 150% to take advantage of the talent that you on the chest piece. But overall, we had it right there at 228%. All right, with the shotgun, the Scorpio had 198%, and with the pistol, we had 268% headshot damage. All right, so let's take a look at the armor. This was a very squishy build, so I recommend you stay in cover, guys, because you can go down pretty easily, especially playing on heroic content. All right, so like I said, we had right there 743,391 armor. No armor on the kill or armor regen, so you got to be very careful. But one thing, playing this build during the global event, you will get you can get your armor back just by running in the green cloud. All right, so as of this video, again, guys, as of me recording this video, there is currently 2 days, 15 hours left to play this global event. Very fun event, and like I said, this build that I am showcasing today, it does work even without the global event being active, because I do use this build and many of my other one-shot builds even when there isn't a global event taking place, and I play them with the modifiers and on and off sometimes, so it don't really matter. The only biggest difference is you will do a lot more damage during the reanimated global event. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the class specialization. You could have used any class specialization you prefer, but I did go with the sharpshooter, primarily because with the sharpshooter class, you will have 15% increase in weapon stability, reduced recoil, and faster requisition of the targets that you're aiming at. So that's just great. Also, your armor kits repair 100% armor, remove status effects, and increase the resistance to bleed, poison, and burn for 20 seconds. All right, you will have access to the tactician drone, and what it does is the tactician drone scouts and marks hostile targets, feeding them to your HUD, so that way you can locate where those enemies are at. All right, all group members that are closer to the enemies than you get 10% increase in headshot damage, so that's great when you're playing in groups. Also, extra armor gain. You will gain extra armor while in cover. Also, after 20 seconds in cover, you start generating 5 marksman rifle and rifle ammo every 10 seconds. So that's just great. All right, one last thing is don't forget to equip the correct weapon element to get your bonus in weapon damage of 15%. A lot of times I forget to do this myself, so I recommend you always, whatever build you're running, make sure you check out your class specialization to make sure you got the correct weapon element equipped before you go out there and do those missions. All right, guys, if you like the build, let's give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your valued time as always and continued support. And for those who like the gameplay, guys, stick around. Got a little bit more gameplay. I will finish taking on the rest of this mission. All right, guys, thank you for your valued time as always. D World Wolf out.
Anything useful, announce them in a recovery team later.
And blow the shit out of anything too dangerous.
True reinforcements incoming. Keep moving. We need to clear the next hall.
Things up there.
Keep moving. You still got radio intercepted.
Division on my 6! So cut through the planetarium. We've got to secure that ordnance.
The third rock from the sun. Our home may not be the center of our universe, but so far it is the only planet that can support life as we know it. Vast reaches of space. It's irrational to think that our little planet is the only place capable of creating and sustaining life. We know that Mars once had vast oceans, that many of the elements found on Earth could only be created in the intensity of a supernova.
I'll set up a turret. Don't survive much longer like this.
Mars was once home to flowing water, as evidenced by these images. At one point, more than 3.8 billion years ago, to one-third of the Martian surface could have been covered by ocean. Martian exploratory craft have sent back evidence of more recent water flow as well, ranging from gullies, dry river systems, to what appear to be
Mechanical components detected. Have Isaac scanned parts. Setting a recovery team. Link up with them and you'll be done there. Components identified. Suggested use. Missile construction. They must be using a casing from the museum's collection. If they can rig it with a warhead and some means of propulsion, we wouldn't even need a guidance system to the White House or settlement.
Kinda goes without saying, but if you see any missiles lying around, make sure they can never, ever be used.
Just ran into those reinforcements. They need backup.
Someone cover me. Need to reload. Let's do this. Remember, aim and take your time. Crap! Not now. Count on me. That hurt. Watch your sides. You better pull back. Reload! Cover!
Your son's munitions factory is out of action and they left a